This is a quick presentation on some changes that I recently made to the drawing engine. And to start with, what we're going to do is we're going to show how the app used to perform. So when we drew a line, all we do is touch and drag in lines mode. But say, for example, we wanted a line starting in the midpoint here and dragging down. When we touch the line, it becomes active, and then it would drag. And we would get some aberrant behavior where things would fly off the screen periodically, stuff like that. So that was very confusing to new users. There was always an easy workaround just to start out in space and drag to the line, but that was kind of confusing. In addition, if we touch the screen, we'll notice we get these small lines out there, and again we can back up and get rid of them, or there's various different ways to correct it, but it tended to be quite confusing to the user. In addition, in curves mode, and we'll notice that things are offset right now for one reason or another, but you'll notice how we accidentally touched the screen, and then when we started the curve, we get this line going from out of space. So say, for example, we touch here, and then we start creating our curve. Actually, that's a bad example. But you see how we can end up with these kind of strange lines. So those were easy to get around, but it was kind of confusing. So looking at the way the app has been redesigned, and what we'll do is we'll just open up a brand new document here. So now, again, we still have the same touch and drag behavior, but if we touch and drag from a line or touch near a line, we'll notice the line doesn't become active. What it does, it waits until we lift off at the touch endpoint to activate a line. So we still get the behavior where we can touch a line and we can highlight it going around to create our fills and stuff like that, or even to double tap to delete. But if we touch on a line and start dragging, we notice we can create a line starting on an existing line. And that's something that I think was very confusing to users as they first started. Also, if we touch on the screen and we just don't draw or don't drag at all, we don't have that extra point that gets orphaned out in space. So we can always start and drag, but if we just touch and touch, but then we actually start our touching and dragging to create our lines, we don't have these orphaned points that we have to deal with. In addition, in the curves mode, if we touch around the screen, so we created something there, but it always starts where we actually start the actual drawing of a curve. So when we touch and drag, so we don't have these lines going off into space. And there was one other behavior which is only happens during demos, but a lot of times when I touch a line, it would shoot off the screen. And because now we're actually doing the activation on, that's a bad example, on the touch end event, we don't have this case where we're drawing and we go to grab something and it goes flying off the screen. That behavior is now completely gone. And those may seem like rather trivial changes, but I think that they're actually kind of will be a lot easier for new users to get used to the app, and actually cause quite a bit of surgery inside the code to alter that behavior. So that's my presentation. Hopefully these new changes will be out in a couple of weeks, and I hope that everyone enjoys them. Thank you.